Since you landed here, let me ask you something. You're already investing in marketing, am I right? Running ads, producing content, trying to scale your brand. But does it ever feel like you're putting more money in without getting the growth back out? Like your brand is working, but not reaching its full potential just yet. Have you ever considered that it's not about doing more, but about what people actually see when they see your brand? You're paying to get attention, but the content people see isn't sending the right signals. It's not creating the right feeling. It's not making the brand feel as strong as it actually is. And that's where the problem starts. Because when the creative doesn't translate the brand properly, you're not just missing out on growth, you're wasting the demand you're already paying for. And deep down, you know, it's not your product, it's not your ambition, it's just that something isn't being communicated the way it should. At this stage, most brands don't struggle because they're not doing enough. They struggle because what they're putting into the market isn't aligned. You're already running ads, already producing content, but the creative isn't strategically built around your brand, your positioning, or your customer. So even if the product is strong and the vision is strong, the brand doesn't come through clearly or make people feel anything at all. And when that happens, people scroll past. They compare alternatives, they hesitate, because people don't just buy products. They buy the feeling a brand creates the moment someone sees the brand, which means you're spending money on marketing without converting the demand you're already paying for. Because in today's market, it's not about having a better product, it's about how clearly the brand is understood and whatever it creates a feeling the moment someone sees it for the first time. And this is where most brands make the same mistake. They assume growth comes from reaching more people, so they increase the ad budget, more ads, more reach, more impressions. But more eyes doesn't automatically create more demand, because attention alone doesn't create desire. 100 random people means almost nothing, but 100 right people who instantly understands the brand can change everything. Because when the creative communicates clearly, people don't just see the product, they feel the brand. And when someone feels a brand, that's when they stop scrolling, that's when they trust, and that's when they finally buy from the brand. My name is Gustav. I'm founder of Studio Room 3 in Copenhagen. Over the past years, we've been working with hundreds of lifestyle and fashion brands globally, from emerging founders to internationally recognized companies. We've produced over thousands of campaigns worldwide, so everything I'm sharing here doesn't come from theory alone. It comes from seeing again and again what actually makes a brand scale and what quietly holds them back. Think of scaling a brand like building a house. You don't just start by laying bricks randomly, hoping it turns into something strong. You start with a blueprint, a clear structure that defines what the house should look like, how it should be filled, and how everything connects. Most brands skip this step. They jump straight into production and end up with content that looks good but doesn't actually build anything at all. At Studio Room 3, we defined the blueprint first, and then we built the house through strategic creative that compounds over time. Let me just show you something so you maybe can understand better. Same product, same quality, same price, only one thing changed: the perception, which means the feeling the brand creates the moment someone sees it for the first time. Which brand feels more trustworthy, which brands feel more premium, and which would you rather build your business on? That difference isn't about better visuals, it's about the strategic alignment. At Studio Room 3, we don't operate as a traditional content agency. We act as a strategic creative lead most brands don't have internally, meaning we take your brand strategy and translate it into creatives that actually performs in the market. Because content isn't decoration, it's the thing your customers use to decide if your brand is worth buying from. Once the perception is clear, everything changes. Customers immediately understands what the brand represents and how it fits into their lives. And when that happens, ads and content stop fighting for attention and start converting it. Customers trust faster, decisions happen with less friction, and instead of rebuilding credibility every campaign, your brand accumulates it over time. And that's when growth finally becomes predictable. And instead of wasting ad spend on content that doesn't convert, your marketing finally starts working the way it's supposed to work. Now, Let me be clear, this isn't for brands looking for quick wins or cheap content or one-off productions. It's for founders who know their brand should be performing at a higher level and are ready to fix the foundation that everything else depends on. That's why we don't just produce content. We partner with brands that is ready to fix the part of their marketing that actually determines performance. First, we define how your brand should show up. Then we translate that into creatives that actually works across ads, campaigns, and platforms. Because without that alignment, no amount of ads will fix the problem. If that resonates with you, you can book a short introduction call with me personally. We'll review your brand, your current communication, and where you want to go, and see if there's a clear fit both strategically and creatively. Studio Room 3, Strategic Creative Leadership for Brands Ready to Scale.